This is rough. I have a whole new respect for the show. I've never had that much to bomb.
Hey everybody, my name is Josue and you are watching Luis Pinzon eat a bunch of hot wings. Luis is a leading physician in the Tampa Bay area, saving children's lives 1 9-year-old at a time. He's an unrivaled BMX grandmaster, and if that's not enough, legend has it that his locks of hair are the only cure to Rona. Luis, welcome to your birthday wings.
I'm happy to be here, Josue. Thank you for hosting.
Being that you turned me on to the hot ones, I know that a generous drop of the liquid dragon's blood is something that you enjoy on a regular basis. But I have to ask you, how are you really with spicy foods?
I think I'm going to be good until about the halfway point, and I've noticed based on your selection that things are going to get a little hairy.
Cheers. Happy
Here we go.
40th birthday here, buddy.
Thank you for hosting once again. I got a little technique I do here.
We know you're a local Tampa boy, but you did your residency in LA. Now I know you love spicy foods.
That's correct.
So what's your, if you had to name a place in LA that you could put here in Tampa, or that you really loved, would you be able to give a certain place a shout out, or is there even a certain food that you just missed so much and wish that was here, wish that it was here, but you know, from LA?
Oh, that's a tough question. I love tacos and I love taco trucks. And until I found that one Los Compadres on Hillsborough and Armenia, I didn't find traditional Mexican tacos that I liked in Tampa. But now that I have that place, it rivals any taco truck that I've had in Los Angeles. But as far as like, if I could bring one thing over, there's a place called Little Tokyo in Los Angeles, and there's a sushi restaurant there called Umasa, and their sushi is amazing. They have like a snapper sashimi that's great, and you get big Sapporo beers, and the price is right, and the decor is nice. It's an awesome place. Where are we going next?
We're going Skinny Habanero Hot Sauce. It's Sauce Bay. Have you had this one?
I like this one a lot.
Oh, this one's good.
It is great on eggs.
Shall we cheers on every wing? I mean, it's...
Sure, why not?
I like it.
It's a celebration.
Yeah. I want to see how the cheers is going after 6 wins here.
You really sauce these up kind of a lot.
Listen,
I'm really nervous about these last few.
nothing's going to take the food experience away from what I do.
Okay.
You should know that
I
by
understand
now about
that.
me. While living in Charlotte during fellowship, you met your lovely Carla there.
I did.
We're going to assume that's number one of what happened to you in Charlotte.
Yes,
I mean, let's just...
that's a fact.
She's going to watch this video later, so let's just assume that that's what that is.
Carla, you're number one. You always have been. You always will be.
What was the worst thing that happened when you were in fellowship in Charlotte?
One time I thought I lost my dog, and that was the only time I was ever late to a shift.
What kind of dog was it?
It was a black pit bull. His name was Jules, and he'd always kind of like test the limits and I always like kept my dogs off leash, and I thought I lost him, and I was an hour late to work that day and drove all around the neighborhood. Long story short, he loved to go into people's trash cans, and somebody was leaving for the gym, and he walked into their apartment and got locked into their apartment.
How do you get locked in there? They closed it on him?
It was like one of those condos where there's like a common door, and he got caught into the common door.
Gotcha.
And the door just like automatically closed, so he was in their apartment, and he ended up eating all their trash, and I didn't hear, like about an hour into the search, I could hear him crying, so I knew he was close by. This is after I've like ridden my bicycle around and then subsequently drove my motorcycle around the neighborhood just trying to like get his attention, and he was like one building over eating trash in somebody's...
Did anyone give you flack about it? Anyone give you a hard time about him getting in there?
They were just more scared because they, like, within that hour they had gone to the gym and come back, and then they opened their door and there's a black pit bull on their couch with the trash knocked over. So ultimately very funny, but started out very scary because I love Jules very much.
Give us something else notable that happened in Charlotte.
I met a bunch of, well, I almost didn't even go to Charlotte because I loved living in California, but it was like, for what I wanted to do career-wise, that was the next step. That's where I matched, so I went. Met a bunch of guys who I'm all still very close friends with. I love them very much. We found basically like an abandoned parking lot that was in the woods, like I guess where an old factory was. So there was one wall, the other 3 walls were gone, and we ended up building basically a skate park by hand there.
Right on.
And so I learned how to work with cement and how to build ramps, and we had like a cool scene there. Right. And so we'd go there almost every day. I'd go there on my way home from work to make sure people weren't doing weird stuff there, and people would do cool graffiti on like the one wall that was left, and it was just like a cool spot for everybody to go to. It was called the Foundation.
Well, cheers.
All right, here we go. I don't have a technique for the drums.
Being the Colombian outdoorsman that you are, hunting, fishing, camping, you had to have had a notable, just a catch, a kill, something that you remember and you're proud of executing.
It's kind of a weird one. We went there 2 years ago or 3 years ago for my birthday, and I caught a big barracuda, which I assumed we were immediately going to throw back because we don't eat them here. Mm-hmm. But apparently in Colombia, no fish goes uneaten if it comes into the boat. And so it was huge and scary and big teeth. I'd never seen one outside of the water. I'd never seen anybody eat one. So I caught that one on my birthday, I think, like I said, 2 or 3 years ago. The funny thing so we came back and we were sleeping on a beach, which like when we first pulled up, I was like, what is going on?
Who was there?
It was my dad kind of organized it all. And so we had to take basically like a skiff, a little bit bigger than a skiff, to this little cove, and we spent 3 days, 2 nights there.
Sounds awesome.
No toilet in your tent. It's kind of like above ground because there's animals and stuff there, which at first I was like, what are we doing? But I ended up really loving it, and so did Carla. The only downside, I'll say, was my dad also has a passion for the beverages, and he brought a Scotch selection, champagne, wine, and for enough for probably 7 days there.
That doesn't sound like a downside, first of all.
He brought 2 bottles of water for the entire thing. So we were brushing our teeth with just a cap full, this. At some
brush
point,
your teeth with Scotch? I mean, what do you mean?
I guess you can. I'm just not sure how good that is for the teeth, but. That was my only criticism. Otherwise, it was perfect. It was awesome.
Well,
we had a great time.
I'm glad you brought your dad up because I got another question.
All right.
It's either you or him. You guys are on separate remote. You guys are just islands. You have nothing. You're given nothing. No clothing. You're dropped completely naked. Who's gonna survive longer, you or Pops?
Me. Yeah.
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 I mean, why do you say that?
I have more chest hair. That's number one. So I'll stay warm because you said no clothes.
Touché.
He eats mostly fried food. He's a better hunter, that's for sure. So, but he's got no gun. I have a more varied diet. I eat vegetables. I don't think I've ever seen him eat a vegetable. So
it'd be tough to. So you're saying it'd be tough for him to adapt to the diet. And that would.
But he's had more experience, so he's been dropped off in the jungle before
Really?
when he was in the military. So,
what military was he in?
he was in the Colombian military. He was a paratrooper in the anti-guerrilla.
That's cool.
I don't know if they call them platoons or whatever, but he was an anti-guerrilla paratrooper.
Well, your dad might watch this video at one point, so you might want to look at the camera and tell him.
Dad, I love you. I'd love to see you eat a vegetable. I don't know who would survive the longest. I'd like to say me because of what you've taught me. So thank you for that. Looking forward to our next trip. I love you.
Cheers to the cheaper gold.
To the cheaper gold. Here we go. You never done this trick?
Yeah. I like it though.
Do you like? Ooh, this one's got some heat.
How about that flavor though?
That's really good.
Yeah.
It's almost like Indian food meets Publix chicken.
So this question is, explain that, Graham. This is where we do a deep dive into your Instagram account and pull up some pictures and ask for more context. So I'm gonna show you a few pictures and I'd like you to answer in the most honest way you can of what was going on and what was happening.
Okay. I'm familiar with the process and I'm a little nervous.
So first one here, we got...
Yeah, okay. So this was at my apartment that I was sharing with my buddy Davey Cooper Wasser in Echo Park. And so we had two garages. One was like mostly bicycle stuff, and then the garage that's open there, that was like where we'd work on motorcycles. I'd mostly hang out. They would be actually working on their motorcycles. And we'd get different people that passed by, and this guy would just not leave. He was just in the garage, like trying to talk to everybody, and just one of those guys. And so I think I'm even holding a beverage.
You're definitely holding a beverage.
So I decided to pretend I was like a wrestler of some sort and put on my American flag Speedo and a pair of boots and some weird glasses and see if that would
deter him.
Just maybe encourage him to move along, sort of thing, so we could get back to business.
So after looking at this photo, I have a question. Do you still have this Speedo?
Sadly, RIP, the elastic finally blew out. I used to wear that every 4th of July. And
RIP is right.
Yeah. Oof. This one was a rough night.
Let's hear about it.
This was actually supposed to be Carla and I's either second or third date.
Okay.
And she had the foresight to decide, let's just reschedule. And so I went out with my buddies, some of the Charlotte guys that we were talking about, to a place called the Breakfast Club, where they play 80s music, and they have like dollar shots, $2 shots, kamikazes, all kind of like classic stuff. Things got a little out of hand. I think that is right. I can't tell if it's by the ladder or by the front door, but I thought it'd be a good idea. So they have like dancing cages where, you know, there's just like girls are allowed to go into the cage and dance and dance on each other. Apparently men are not allowed to be up there, and they're definitely not allowed to be up there with no pants.
Right, yeah.
And so I was enjoying myself, I guess, a little too much. And
so you were in the dancing cage?
Yeah, I made it up there. And I started taking my clothes off, and that bouncer there immediately started to bring me back down, and he wanted to escort me outside, and I didn't get a chance to put my pants back on.
This next one here is El Yucatan.
I know that one's spicy. I've had that before, and
it's a tasty treat.
There's a reason I don't buy it.
But enjoy the wing before it starts to get real serious here.
Okay, here we go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Being raised by Colombians and Romanians, you've had to have seen, just two completely different sides of the food spectrum on just what different countries eat.
Yeah. Is that one a little hot for you?
It might be. I'm gonna blame it on going down the wrong pipe there.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's where we're gonna go with
fair.
What would you say is is there any kind of food that you just classify as weird that you brought to school as a kid?
I don't think it's weird now. At the time when I was when I first left Romania, we lived in New Jersey for a little bit, and then we moved to Staten Island, and it was kindergarten, and I brought a mango to school, which apparently is an uncommon item in Staten Island. Okay. And it was the day after we had watched a cartoon called Rikki Tikki Tavi. It's about like a mongoose that saves a family from a cobra.
Is there a song with that? I feel like there is.
There probably is.
Okay.
But I'm not familiar with it. And so everybody asked me, what is this fruit that I'm eating that I loved, and I still love. It's still like my favorite fruit, mangoes.
Yeah.
And I said, it's a mango. And everybody accused me of eating a mongoose and subsequently eating a heroic mongoose Rikki Tikki Tavi. And so that was a little traumatic at the time.
So you had just watched this mongoose cartoon?
Yeah.
The day earlier?
Yeah.
And then you got accused of eating a mongoose the next day?
Yeah, but it was a mango. It wasn't even meat.
Well, yeah. Sounds like a terrible. How old are you?
It was kindergarten.
Oh, yeah.
It was a bad day.
Impressionable
Bad day
time,
at kindergarten.
Yeah. Kindergarten. Oof.
I still remember that day.
So,
also, yeah, this is all kind of weird. My mom used to make me cream cheese and jelly sandwiches.
is that so your mom is the Romanian?
Correct.
Is that a Romanian staple sandwich?
I don't know. I haven't eaten it since. I don't know where she got this from, but
That's a question you need to ask your mom.
yeah, I do. I've had it since on bagels, and it's great on bagels.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know.
But she just put it on just white
regular
bread?
bread. Yeah.
All right. You ready for this next one?
I'm gonna say no.
This is the zombie apocalypse here.
Is this where things start to get serious? Have you had this one?
I hope not. Yeah, I
Yeah,
have
I
had
think
this
so.
one. I just don't remember it. Cheers.
Okay.
Maybe if they've been sitting for a little bit, they won't be as hot, right?
I don't think that's how it works.
No, I don't think so either. I'm Hispanic, so
Yeah.
typical Hispanic parents seem to give their kids weird nicknames. Now, I've never heard that you had a nickname, but did you have a weird nickname from your dad or maybe your mom? A Romanian
Yeah.
nickname.
I don't think it's weird, but I'd get Luigi or Luisito all the time.
Luisito from your dad's.
Yep. And then he still calls me Luigi all the time.
Well, cheers. I hope the suffering is not as long this time.
I noticed you applied a lot of sauce to this one.
Yeah.
Have you
So
had
these
this?
last two, this one and the last one, are very thick sauces. So that's why they stick pretty good. Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I can feel it
You
already.
can taste it immediately. Mm-hmm. I'm all over the place here. I don't know what's happening.
Is the strategy to swallow the wing without chewing it? Like, what's better?
I don't. This is my first interview also, so the strategy is I'm depending on you for the strategy. You let me know.
Try to do it as quick as possible.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that's gonna get a little bit worse in a couple minutes.
Well, talking about family, I'd like to know if you don't mind sharing with us. So thank you for that.
Gentle reminder.
What's one of the most devious things that you and your brother did while growing up that you suspect your parents still may not know about?
They definitely do not know how often we took out the car when they were out. It's kind of like a big, oh man, it's hot. It's kind of a big neighborhood. But my dad taught both of us to drive like when we were like 9 and 10 years old. So it was really hard to wait till we were 16 or 17. And at that time, my parents were going out a lot on the weekends, so we'd kind of be by ourselves most evenings, especially Friday and Saturday night. And my mom had like one of those big long diesel Mercedes. She had one of those, and we would take that and just drive around the neighborhood for a few hours. And they definitely have no idea how often we did that.
I mean, but they knew you guys did it every now and then, just not.
No, I don't even know if they ever caught us. I can't remember. I think I would.
Probably would have
And
said
we
something
had
about
a
it.
ton of parties that they didn't know about.
Really? What kind
They
of
went
parties?
to just like big high school parties with like kegs and people, because they'd go out of town a lot too. And so I remember in particular, they had gone to Africa because my dad went hunting, and we had like at least 3 parties while they were gone, because they were gone for 2 to 3 weeks. They got kind of out of hand.
Well, I'm glad you brought up parties, because the legend is that you were somewhat of a famed DJ, and I have a question about your DJing days.
Yeah.
I hear that you were referred to as DJ Chupacabra.
That's correct.
And my question is, if there was a day that once a year for the rest of your life you could relive in your DJ Chupacabra days, which day would it be? Which party would it be? Which experience as a DJ would it be?
Well, we used to have a radio show on Saturday nights called the Tighten Up Show, because like it used to be a phrase that you got to tighten up before you go out, or he needs to tighten up if he's a mess or something like that. And it was like from 9 to 10, so it was probably before most people would go out. And just kind of being in the college radio station and spinning records and having so I used to tutor chemistry as well too. And so like some of my students would say like, hey, I saw you on, because it was, the video feed was broadcast on campus. You could listen to it anywhere in Tampa.
Okay.
And so like some of the students would be like, hey, I saw you on the college radio station.
And you were DJ Chupacabra on there?
Yeah. And there was like about 4 or 5 of us that would just kind of hang out. There was a dude who would like freestyle. His name was Heck. He would go by like What the Heck was his name. There was Chad, who's like a conservation photographer now. His DJ name was Chadzilla. There was a dude who I think was like Russian. We'd call him the Russian cosmonaut. My buddy Adam Mango was there. It was a fun time. It was like every Friday night for 1 year and Saturday night for the following year.
So just any one of those given shows would be...
Yeah, it was just super fun, just like going, because we had like our records, because I used to collect records. So I'd bring like my crate or my bag of records. But being that it was a radio station, they had like an insane amount of records. So we'd dig through some of their stuff, put some of the stuff that I like, and we'd usually like have a couple drinks beforehand, and it was like almost like a little party on campus and doing what we love to do, and that was just super fun. So any one of those nights, if I could relive that as part of, if I had time to do all that stuff all the time, that would be great.
So when are we gonna, I think the question begs, when are we gonna see DJ Chupacabra come out? Because I'm excited to see him.
How old are you?
37.
Maybe for your 40th birthday.
You'll be DJing a party for my 40th?
I only have one record player.
Well, now that you said it, I'm expecting it.
Oh my God.
Don't you dare go back on it.
All right.
All right, man.
This is the moment I've been dreading.
This is and if you notice, I made this wing the smallest.
But you put the most amount of sauce on it.
It just sticks real well. And what are you gonna do?
Will it be frowned upon if I don't finish the entire wing?
This is your interview, man. You do what you gotta do. I'm just following what you do.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're going all the way in. Let's go. Oh, good. I don't want to chew it anymore.
Stick it down. If I met you as my doctor, I would have no idea that
that does not help at all.
If I met you as my doctor, I would have no idea that you have tattoos. But as a friend, you have more than I think anyone that I possibly know.
And I'm gonna get more.
So you're sleeping, and all of a sudden the gods of the tattoos wake you mid-nightmare.
Okay.
And they say, Luis, from here on out, you can only choose 5 of the tattoos that you have on your body. The rest you gotta get rid of. Which are the 5?
That I keep?
That you keep for the rest of your life.
I definitely keep Harry. The turtle that I have on my leg, I gotta keep him. There's a bunch that I regret, so we can get rid of a lot of them. There's a couple penguins down there. There's a marine iguana I'd like to keep. Mostly the animals. Everything else can go. Oh my God, it's getting so much worse.
Yeah. I remember now.
I don't know what to do.
That's a good start.
I feel like I can't hear out of my left side of my ear.
Lead the way.
I can't do this whole wing. I'll probably have to go half-seas on this one.
Hold on, I'm going to have some more.
Now it's all over my finger. I have like no fine motor control left. That's it.
What? You know, when camping, what is it that you'd say is a ultimate clothing item that you have to have? And now, I hear that you're a Scotsman at heart.
Yeah, I have a feeling I know where this question came from. So, as much as I like outdoor activities, I didn't really camp until like the last 3 or 4 years. We were going on a biking trip in Colorado where I knew it was going to be real camping. Previously, even when I'd camped, there was like at a KOA or something where there was a bathroom and a shower and all that. And I never really like pooped in a hole before or like pooped in the woods, except maybe once before, and it was an emergency. So
No one judges you in this.
I bought a kilt that I could kind of take my time and get comfortable, find a spot, and not that I have a problem getting naked, because I even got naked on that trip just to take a couple photos over a nice mountain range and have my butt cheeks in it. But just pooping, I don't know. I'm not like I don't really like talking about pooping. Even this question is a little weird. I don't like talk about like my bowel movements that much, but I knew it was going to be awkward, and I thought that would help. So that was the main reason I bought the kilt. But I did use it a couple other times on the trip and kind of went around wealthy neighborhoods in the Colorado mountains just wearing my kilt and a pair of Crocs. So yeah, I guess I am a Scotsman deep down inside.
So you'd say, so you're admitting on camera that you took a poop through your kilt?
Yeah, that's factual. I think it's a good item to have. It's nice for changing, like if you're in a public parking lot or something like that. Like you can just kind of put your kilt on, and everybody assumes you're a Scotsman, and that's just this. And then you can kind of air things out on the ride home, or just change, or do what you got to do. Oh, I wiped my nose, and now my nose is on fire.
Yeah, just don't put it in your eyes.
Yeah, I'm being very conscious of that. Did you touch your eyes?
No.
Okay. You look like you're crying.
No, I'm crying, but I didn't touch my eyes.
No tears here.
So having traveled a lot to ride your bike, from what I hear.
Yes.
Give me the best experience you've ever had while traveling and riding your bike. The where, the when, and the what were you doing?
Ooh. I really enjoyed, and I've done this. I've been to the city 3 times on my bike, and I love riding my bike there. The city is just so bike friendly. I can barely think. Being in Amsterdam with my bike, I've done it with my buddy Connell, just me and him, and then another, like the year after, I went with Connell, Dan, and Carla, and we just rode our bikes everywhere. Went to skate parks, just like seeing the city, everything. You get to see so much more than if you're just walking around a city. You can just cover so much more ground. And so I'd say I'm not even sure if I'm answering your question correctly. I can't even think right. Did you ask what favorite city or my favorite time or what?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So Amsterdam. Any time that I've been in Amsterdam with my bicycle has been a great time. The first time I went was my dad bought me a ticket to Europe as like a congratulations after I finished my first year of med school, which happened to be when my buddy Chad graduated from high school, and his mom shout out Amanda Moore, for some reason trusted me very much to take her, I don't even know if he was 17 or 18 at the time, son with me to Europe for 3 weeks. So we flew into Cologne, Germany, rented a turbo Volvo station wagon, and drove around for 3 weeks. But one of the best experiences, I'd say, was pedaling around Amsterdam on our bikes.
Fantastic.
And I just love that city. It's so bike friendly. You can ride your bike everywhere. And there's skate parks. There's ones that we wanted to go to, and then ones that we just found just by pedaling around.
Shout out to Amsterdam, huh?
Yeah, Amsterdam's awesome.
Well, Luis, you know where this goes. This is the last wing, and it's tradition around, not here, but the show, that we put a dab, the last dab on, dab on the last wing.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
It's tradition. We have to. We've made it this far.
We made it this far.
I haven't regained hearing in the left side of my ear, but we're gonna continue.
But the right one's all that matters,
right one's all that
right?
matters. I'm right-handed.
I'm following your lead.
All right. So the last dab, Apollo, made with the Apollo.
Why don't you give that a shake
Okay,
first?
Let's do it.
I don't know what you're gonna get if you don't give it a shake.
How are you doing?
I think I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I expected that this was going to be a walk in the park for you, but I think you're struggling as much as I am.
Oh yeah, for sure struggling as much as you are.
Come on. Just a little dab. Did you already
Oh yeah, these are pre-sauced.
I should have asked that. So you get 3 drops on yours.
Is that fair?
I think you need another one, pal.
That?
Yeah, there you go.
I'm no wasteful guy, so.
Thank you so much for having me and organizing this.
Happy 40th, brother.
Here we go. Let's go. Take this guy out. Here we go. I hope that one's not a creeper.
Having traveled a lot to ride your bike, and talking about your bike, your buddies would have my head if I didn't ask this question, but is it true you retired from riding your bike on these trips that you were describing since you nose manualed out of a full pipe?
I said that I have, but now that time has gone by, and I'm feeling pretty good. I'm definitely gonna bring my bike on some of these trips, but after my last experience with my knee surgeries and everything like that, I think I say this, I'm going to take it easier and try to stay healthy. Because by the time I will get back on my bike, it'll be the longest since I started riding BMX that I've been off my bike. The longest I've gone before was 9 or 10 months, so it'll be about 13 months once I start riding again in March or April. It'll either be 13 or 14 months. So I love riding my bike, but I think I am going to take it easier, and I think if we're at a park where there's a capsule, we're gonna stop trying to get 3 people in the capsule at the same time. I think that was a bad idea. But
Is that when this happened?
that was where the last one happened.
All right, Luis Pinzon.
But I'll definitely be bringing my bike on the trips. I'm going on these trips. We're gonna go.
There you go.
I'm bringing my kilt. We're gonna do it. I'm gonna tax everybody's beer too.
Well, Luis, here you are in the basement like a maniac after defeating the deathly hot chicken wings. You've been watching Hot Ones for years, and now that you've experienced this long road of wings, questions, hot sauces, that'll sure to be wreaking havoc on your tummy a little bit later on tonight.
Yes.
My question is, was it worth it, and would you do it again?
Absolutely, this is a good time. I really
You took it
enjoyed
like a champ.
I think tomorrow is gonna be the real question about whether or not it's worth it. It usually feels good at the time, and then, like a lot of things, the regrets come later.
Like a lot of things, you're right. Well, there's nothing left to do here than roll out the red carpet. So in this camera, tell us what the best thing and the thing that you're looking forward the most about being over the hill, over 40 years old.
I'm here now. I got gray in my beard. I got gray in my chest hair. I've made it through these wings, so that's behind me. Gonna start riding again soon, and I'm excited to party and enjoy the rest of the weekend. Thank you for having me.
Right on. About how long? Cheers.
Cheers.